If it's morning where you are, grab a cup of coffee, lie down on a beanbag, and listen to the sounds of birds chirping. If it's the evening or the afternoon, grab a cup of tea instead, and lie down next to a fireplace and listen to the noises of the night while you listen to my voice. Okay, so this is going to be a fun, intimate experience. We're going to be traveling across the galaxy, across multiple galaxies, and exploring this science fiction future. This album comes from the perspective of an individual, a young individual who loves something very much, and it's on the other side of another galaxy, and he has to go get there. And I'm not going to spoil anything more than that. It does have a speaker, and the speaker is maintained more or less throughout all of the poems. It does tell a narrative story. It isn't entirely in chronological order, and there is a little bit of surrealism, or I don't want to spoil too much, but there are things that aren't literal, which should be expected because this is poetry, okay? Anyway, we're going to jump right into it. 3, 2, Rain Planet. Straw village hamlet and a humble hatchet catches collapsing branches. Dimming matches. In the thatch attic crashed into through the clamping hatches. Damp and distracted, I retract in my mattress, messaging you through the stars, and the chilly draft blowing my hair to reveal the scars. Discarded in this graveyard plaza, the charred jungle, my steaming marijuana, bundle fumbles the cumbersome problems away. There is no day here. The waves are tides and ripples torrents, and thorns are poison, and my appointments have been feeling pointless. If I can never touch you, what love is brightness to a tissue, soaked into tactile light issues, 3-ply soft igloo skin, and the rainbow-scented gentle sentence your lips would bend in breath, if by fortune space had dropped me on your galaxy's end. And what breadth this tease is, waiting through the weeks to when the time dilation eases, and you're not sleeping and I can see you speak. High voltage vaping with virtual goggles raising, my mind is racing through vaulting bubbles tracing my blind complacence to be stunned by you. Vigorous innocence ostensibly you skewed, and it too shocked me like a tube. Lightning struck my eyes, seeing you sooner than my eyes struck my brain with a radiating face of Luna. Orbiting moons polluting my head, with choices, all of them I know I'll regret. I got off the entangle net and so began my quest. Collecting rust scraps from the crushed deposits, black pockets welded into spark sockets and spare wires to weld quark rockets. Flick, click, ignition. Alan asks for permission. At your will, master. Passing Cyan faster than a lightning strikes a ship spikes past her. Seaweed hair, forest skin pimples and purple plain underwear. Pangs and slings the crater dimples as the ship enslaves the dragging air. Stares to the speeding horizon, sky fixtures and upraising tridents, blasting ions, eye pleading with gravity to reason with science, elevating through the strata to where the nose greets the world ceiling and the floor is a plaster wall and the fall is lava. Levitating, above the green disc, the sun's halo embraces with a sinking kiss, and warmness glimpses this glass jar. The warmth of a woman, a strata less far. Galactic cactus catches a mattress. Head resting, staring to the silver lattice. Chromatic in stasis, it oscillates through the ages, remaining static in place, yet its status is updated. Glistening on my golden skin. In the pressurized cockpit of this gliding pin, the neon candles dancing in tandem, glowing their mantles, bleeding in the cosmic wind, fleeting to the caustic void, I'm slipping in. Knuckle suburb airstrip runway, lands red spaceship in the overground subway, and the jukebox jazz playing juniors, greeting my ears sooner than the robot troopers, beeping and buzzing about, counterfeit stores shouting a spout, and the crossing metal streets to where space taxis slumber, and road cats doze like down doormat umber, a doormat lumber. Mumble to the doorman bouncer, a prowler with powder for an outer space dance on. Answer me, flower, flower, make me flounder, closer to me, music growing quickly louder, her answering machine. The only payphone for light years is near a lotto machine, and I smashed that bits into methamphetamines, and damn those gits who gave maps to me. The floor chlorine green, a neon disco light spot mocking me. Sod off, you socked off You need a planet firefighter to put this blaze out. I'm out than a full cup of beans in a clay pot. I want them steaming on my day spa inside a hot box cop car with a nasal drop. I'll lace your polka dot socks with chicken pox and complain you've got these spots. I'll tase your dog until it wakes a red fox and tuck that box in a needle box and stuff it in a weasel drop. He'll suffocate like a ladle in the anal cavity of a stabled horse, and later send you in roller skaters to an island full of alligators and let nature run its course. I lack all remorse. I'll solder your soul to a soldier, and let Martha stretch you until you're molten fodder, and feed your bits to ducks and chicks and applaud your spinning hips dangling from a circus folder. I'll wedge you in a vacuum tube, I'll shove you in and wait use a loop. You stutter as you fall down your chute, stuttering collapse to mute, and I never knew I was such a brute. I'm not. I'll sob and won't bother. Lost. Skyline wedged between mountain dunes and blueberry plains. Gold plumes swung from rotary arms. Fire fountain candles igniting the eye of a sand crater coliseum. Ashworkers safe. For one. Hung from a red steel plank swinging on a crane cord. Ignores a flapping sword stabbing the clouds. Turbine loud. Drunk yellow husk weaving and dipping like cucumber in cassock. Beneath shielding cotton in the violent scrutiny of a livid sun. Swirling beans and itching guns, rolling bowling ball, rubbing asphalt floor, strike some pins and needles in the tapping knee of a taxi driver. Fiddling fingers and blurring heat, everybody has no one to meet. High school benches with the stinging stench of a nuclear reactor, twisting proctors and protractors, shuffling papers at the back of a whip-crackling tractor. Lazy eye spies a rainbow bird through amber glass. Before the aching ask, the peacock bask in diorama forest spring serenity, takes flight and defies nature to climb air stairs. Ignored in the suffocating corner of a Hilton Hall, the marble floor stained with leather prints is washed away each day by a lonely cleaner. He longs for his wife and children, sees their face in melting puddles, bead down his cheek each week, heading back to that cramped camp. Weak fans staring out one bumping bus, navigating sandstone seas. In the night, children try to unwind their mind with lightning strikes, threaded between folding cups of contorting lust, brittle fists caught on the cusp of a hunching jaw, puncture humdrum realities, morphs to frightening unease, inspiration rushes to the brain, flailing through the days, ground approaches, crashes right through. Star that scars a glass mast of my solar sail, thrust my S-Class coaster past miles faster than a snail lasts, dangling on a roller coaster rail. Empty your energy. Denim overall tapestry. Weaves and sews a Syrian sea. Submarine subspace subscription fee. Costs the cyborg's working knee. Gliding on the Milky Way's emerald aurora gale. Staring to the bloated tourmaline gaseous whales. Their silver streams echolocating through the stars. Green streamers leaving thundering lines in their path. And all is warped and absorbed in the contorting laugh. Tunnels carved in a vacuum tube. All tunnels pass. Phantasmagoria, stringed together by on-fire nautical nauseous euphoria, spewing lewd privates of dark matters and the universe's shrouded fabric scatters my brain among shattered plastic. Reality stitches back together, and the leather seat tethered to my hands and feet ceases thrusting me. Relentlessly, it was. Now its slow transit soft. Diamond feather mud, gusting when the ground is gust of decoupling from my grounded pod. Lifeform and flora all white, sparkling water reflecting arctic spikes, and bright riptides whip lights in the sky. Airships hover, licking clouds in a blurry cover. I don't walk, I shiver and stutter past gushing slush and icy rivers utter. Freezing breeze murmurs, flutters of wings struggling against something monstrous. Paws and croaks choking against the crawling pool. Silence, a pool of glacier blood drools. Submerged soapy quarters, underwater snow globe marauders, hostile towards explorers, slowness from sonar odors, avoiding the water predators with bottom pools, bubbling no notices. Idle metal on a caving glass chamber, the head sage approaching with harping gum pointed at my ember glacier. My shining jar firefly never lazier. I'm carefully recrystal, I whistle through the radio. To get what you seek, you must suffer first. I felt my wrists unravel and my stomach unearthed. I felt the alienating delirium of alien birth. I've never felt worse. Twirling around in your scarlet dress. I wish to see you every day, I see you every night instead. Fixed in the same place in the stars and in my head. I'll tell you of my circumstance, but you'd blush and hug and wish to dance. I guess you never did understand that space is no place for fragile man. In my ship I watch the sky sink and crests caress the clouds and think. Oxygen dips, mumbles, turns to tears, and the trembles in my lips swishes for the years when rocking chair ladies played with my hair, and on their laps to the ceiling I would stare, imagining spaceships colliding with flares and the loving warmth of sweeping summer air. Under the rugs and whistling through the trees, the doves conspired with the snails, colluded with the bees to fill my life with joy and assaulting ease. Now as fleeting as my good memories. I've starved and carved my name in caves. I've wandered through the fields and waves and plundered all the holidays. Estranged, enraged, and in malaise, I rest my brakes. The engine stops, but my heart keeps beating, and with my breaths I feel my body fleeing. Cyra, it's now time for that long-awaited meeting. Exiting the ship, and with a depressurized wrist, space is freezing. Sun-contoured figurine, shifting through the red marine, retiring in rehearsed routine. Eyes between the dirt, blood seeps, stargazing on the flaming grass. Watching bears and crabs crawl past, feeling pelting petals pass, breathing nothing, nothing lasts. Breathing nothing, nothing lasts. Breathing nothing, nothing lasts. Red marine. Atomic pink bomb, toxic cloud from which you sprung from, will blow your brain in glum bursts of doldrums. Dusty spring in the mechanics sink, thinking things that make atoms twinkle. Matter amasses and scatters link, kindle. Eyes blink under the scorching lights. Doctors' mothers scrutinize, warming cots and caskets for the child's life. Pluming giant, flexing blossoms, pressing diamonds from depressed defiance, messman lion roaring to arresting silence. Nucleus nebula, a nuclear spectacular, refracts parts in reflecting spectra, life-cycling nectar, pink nebula.